Hello there, World of Tankers, and welcome to the channel. I'm your host, World of Blitz, and in today's video, we are taking a look at this absolutely weird Tier 9 American Collector Heavy, the MBT-B. This is probably the weirdest tank in the game when it comes to looks. I don't think anybody's going to deny that. I mean, look at this thing. Absolutely funky. And in today's video, we're not only going to be talking about the armor profile, but the auto-reloading gun that it features, making this the first auto-reloading American vehicle, if I'm not mistaken. And yeah, we're going to be talking about everything there is to know about this tank. So as always, if you enjoy this type of content and you want to see more like it, please consider smashing that subscribe button down below, as you won't find this on any other channel. Let's start off by fully equipping this tank. We're going to be running enhanced and obviously calibrated shells, as this is an autoloader. We've got armor. We're going to be running everything like that. Mobility. Okay, we are all kitted out. So damage per minute wise, it's not great. It has 2,000 or actually a little bit less, 1900 DPM. The maximum you can get is 1940, and if you're adding on the shells that this vehicle has loaded in the clip, you have a potential damage per minute of 2330, as it's a 2-shell autoloader, which is rather weird. We can see that shell 2 reloads with an 8-second reload, but it has a very long 4-second intro clip, so it actually takes 12 seconds to reload shell 2, and it also takes 12 seconds to reload shell 1. So essentially, we have an Italian auto-reloading heavy. That's American. Now what I find weird is that we already have the Contraccaro Progetto 66, which is a Tier 9 Italian auto-reloading heavy, which has a very similar gun in terms of damage per minute, Alpha. So because of that, it's a little weird. We already have a very similar take, but I think this is still a cool vehicle, and I can't complain. Let's take a look at the gun. 268 mils of standard pen, and if we make our way to the gold, 379, so very, very good penetration overall. Not much you're going to have to worry about there. The HE does a lot more DPM, an additional, what, 543, and that is because this vehicle does quite a bit of damage with the high explosive at 500, while also having 70 mils of pen, so pretty good. Let's take a look at the gun depression. This vehicle is American, so it's actually fairly flexible, sitting at 8 degrees, and dispersion-wise, it's 0.335, so not bad at all. It's not like the most accurate vehicle, but it's also not inaccurate. Its on move is pretty good. Turret traverse is incredible at 0.085, and its on move, while not great, is okay. So yeah, it's not going to be awful on the gun handling characteristics. And mobility wise, the tank's fast. It's got a top speed of 38, a reverse of 18, and a power to weight of 12.4. It's not a great power to weight ratio, but it is an auto reloader, so you can obviously put on super speed boost, and then you'll be able to go a little bit faster, upwards of power to weight of 14.5 for 20 seconds. So not too bad. Overall, the characteristics of this vehicle on paper seem pretty cool. I mean, I like auto reloaders. As I've as I've said many times in the past, I think auto reloaders are the strongest type of vehicles in the game. And that is because of the fact that they're able to dump their clip and deal damage faster than a single shot would be able to. But I don't know, with a 4-second intro clip, it's going to be quite interesting. I think it's very well balanced because of the intro clip. However, I do feel that this vehicle should have slightly more DPM, maybe around 2,200, just because it is a low alpha and because of the fact that its armor, while funky, isn't the best. So let's actually take a look at this vehicle's armor. What does that have going for it? Well, the lower plate's quite weak. It's about 173 millimeters thick due to the angle. So yeah, you're not going to be getting many bounces on that lower plate. And frontally, yeah, it's great looking, right? We got this super angled hull loading heat. We can see, like, using gun depression, it's very, very strong. But the thing is that if you angle the tank at all, especially if you try the side scrape, these little corners, as we can see, become super weak. It's only really strong if you're dead center like this. And even then, you got a lot of weak spots, as we can see. We got little corner cutouts here, which are only about 270 millimeters thick. We got this in the back here, which is only about 200 millimeters thick. That means even AP shells can cut right through. And we also have these little hatches right below the gun, which are 312. Basically, if you're running calibrated on any vehicle, Tier 9 or 10, you're going to cut through this tank quite easily. Tier 8s, though, they will definitely struggle to cut through this tank. So armor-wise, it's pretty solid. I will say that. Like, it's not bad at any means. But again, If you try to side scrape, first of all, it's very bad at side scraping, as we can see, not thick at all. These corner cutouts are going to be a huge weakness as well. Side armor itself is pretty weak, only about 80 millimeters thick, and the rear is only about 60. So yeah, it's not great, but it's also not bad. I mean, this is going to be a very troll tank. While the armor on paper looks pretty easy to pen if you load gold, I'm quite confident that people are going to struggle to cut through this thing hull down, just because, oh, you missed. Oh, that's a 280 millimeter spaced plate there. Oh, you missed. Oh, that's 335. That's going to be the part that's funky, is if you miss where you're aiming, this vehicle is going to ricochet those shells very easily. But if we compare this vehicle and we make our way down to tier 9 and we take a look at all the vehicles in the game, and we specifically look at the Italian auto reloading heavy, which is the Contraccaro, we can see DPM wise, very similar. It's a little bit more on the Contraccaro, and if we take a look at the gun handling, it's also very similar. The same turret traverse, 0.085, same basic on move, same dispersion. So the guns are very similar on these vehicles. Penetration-wise, also very similar, as we can see. Alpha damage is the same, HE damage is the same. So the real question is, how is the armor compared? And personally, I think the armor on the Contraccaro is better. Using max gun depression, which is 9 degrees, we can see that this vehicle, even if loading heat with calibrated, is only having one little weak spot, which is still about 314 thick, which is pretty strong, especially when you look at the edges, which are over 400. The upper plate is about 360. So, yeah, I don't know. I feel like this tech tree is a little bit stronger in regards to the armor, but I'm not going to complain. I think the MBT-B looks balanced. I think it looks fun. So, I'm excited for the vehicle. I think it's going to be a rather interesting vehicle when it is introduced into the game. I still find it very weird how Wargaming decides to make almost all auto loaders on PC single shots in Blitz, and all single shots on PC auto loaders on Blitz. It's really weird. The 116 F3 is an autoloader on PC. In Blitz, it is being tested as a single shot vehicle. That is the same for a vehicle like the VZ55, for the Caliban, for the Cobra. But yet the MBT-B, which is a tier 10 American single shot heavy on PC, well, in Blitz, it has an auto reloader. It's just really weird to me how Wargaming takes vehicles that are on PC, that are single shots, and they make them auto reloaders in Blitz, and they take auto reloaders or autoloaders on PC and make them single shots in Blitz. It's really, really weird to me. Now, to be fair, I think that autoloaders in general and auto reloaders are more exciting than single shot vehicles, but at the same time, I find it very weird how Wargaming does their balancing for this game. Let me know what you guys think about this vehicle in the comments down below. Do you think it's going to be a strong tank? Do you think it needs balancing? I'm actually really excited for this one. I think it's going to be a really fun tank to mess around with. The armor, it seems alright. The only thing you're going to have to worry about is how large this vehicle is. It looks quite big to me. It's quite boxy, but look at the side armor of the turret. This is one thing I wanted to mention. I got to reload the page because it's kind of bugged sometimes when you mess around with it. But the armor on the side of the turret is 270. Even loading heat, that's 310. So if you're shooting at like the flat sides of this vehicle's turret, that is an absolute shot trap, and you got to be very careful. The sides of the turret are somehow honestly stronger than a lot of the front of the turret at certain angles. The rear is not hard to pen, though. It's only 50 mils on the rear of the turret. But yeah, if you're ever like being aimed in on the you know, like turret, just turn it sideways or like turn it towards wherever the person's looking, and you might actually get some bounces. Very, very weird armor. But yeah, the MBTB, it looks really cool to me. I'm very excited for this vehicle to come into test. In fact, I will be testing it. So yeah, pretty interesting. Also, if you're wondering if this big ol' like chute on the top or these little boxes on the side are weak spots, no, they are not. We can see that they are phasing through the armor completely. So no, they do not exist as weak spots. This vehicle basically has no hatch apart from this little spot right there, but it doesn't really matter because it's got this cutout on the side anyway. So hopefully you enjoyed today's video. If you did, please consider smashing that subscribe button down below, and I'll see you in the next one. Bye-bye.